And what is their ultimate purpose? If you understand the scheme of things, they are made to serve human beings. And they only play a role to ultimately serve the ecology which is required by human development. And all this is a part of the scheme, so number is sacrificed for the sake of quality. That is, in essence, the meaning. So if billions upon billions of lives are sacrificed for human beings because they are superior, so if qualities are to be added to them, or qualities of human beings are to be tested, put to test, some of their sacrifices are quite justified for that grand scheme of things. Now this is the general purpose and the general phenomena as I understand. But apart from that, when you apply this situation of disasters to human contexts, then you will understand that every disaster was avoidable, or at least could be mitigated to a very great degree if human beings were moral animals, and the standard of morality and humanity was up to the mark which is attempted to be created by every religion. So because human beings lost their purpose, lost their direction and bearing, so after all this, billions of years of service to mankind and with all that has gone into their creation, the question is a different question. Do they deserve all this, or do they deserve to be wiped out? The answer, if you look at everything which God has done for the creation of mankind, would be that if after all this, mankind has lost the purpose of creation and it has become more imbecile in nature than human, then if entire mankind is wiped out, it is justified. You behave exactly in the same manner to your own creation, don't you? If you want to paint and try to draw the picture of a man, and instead a monkey is formed, as usually children do. They try to make a cow and instead a snake is created. Look, there are such differences in the creations of poor artists. But sometimes it's the fault of the creation. It is properly made and it gets deformed. What do you do with that? You wipe out whatever you have created. So Allah has every right to wipe out all humanity if humanity does not serve the purpose of its creation. So these small droughts are only very small punishment, out of all proportion small, only to shake us up to what we truly deserve. This is why the Holy Quran tells us that if Allah had punished human beings for what they do, Allah would not have left any dabba on earth. You remember the verse? بما كسبوا. The second part I think is not correct.
وَلَوْ يُعَقِّلُ اللَّهُ النَّاسَ بِظُلْمِهِمْ مَا تَرَكَ
something like that. Better consult the Holy Quran and let me know the verse. This is his nearer. Yes. وَلَوْ يُعَقِّلُ اللَّهُ النَّاسَ بِمَا كَسَبُوا. بِمَا كَسَبُوا وَظَلَمُوا بِمَا كَسَبُوا. Yes. So the philosophy given by the Holy Quran is this, that if Allah had decided to punish human beings for what they have committed, Allah would have wiped out the whole life from earth. Apparently, there is a dilemma because crime committed by human beings, and poor animals are wiped out for nothing, as if. But when you follow what I have said, then this verse is very clear in its meaning. And there is no other meaning attributable to it than what I have already said. That the purpose of the creation of other species of life was not just the creation of their creation in itself. They were created for mankind. So if man loses justification, all that was created to serve him should go out along with him, overboard. Nothing should be left. This is exactly what the Holy Quran says.
Surah Nahl, وَلَا يُؤَاخِذُ اللَّهُ النَّاسَ بِظُلْمِهِمْ مَا تَرَكَ عَلَيْهَا مِنْ دَابَّةٍ وَلَكِنْ يُؤَخِّرُهُمْ إِلَى أَجَلٍ مُّسَمًّى.
That's right. Read it in the microphone so that it is recorded. وَلَا يُؤَاخِذُ اللَّهُ النَّاسَ بِظُلْمِهِمْ.
Surah Nahl. وَلَا يُؤَاخِذُ اللَّهُ النَّاسَ بِظُلْمِهِمْ مَا تَرَكَ عَلَيْهَا مِنْ دَابَّةٍ وَلَكِنْ يُؤَخِّرُهُمْ إِلَى أَجَلٍ مُّسَمًّى.
Which was?
Sir, it is Surah Nahl and 62. Ayah 62 of Nahl.
The meaning is that if Allah were to bring to book mankind for their transgression, Allah would not have left any species of life on earth. So the punishment is meted out for mankind, and what is wiped out? Every species of life. So it holds only good in the explanation which I have given already. That the purpose of their creation was to serve mankind. So when the mankind ceases to deserve that mastery over the rest of the creation would go along. Any other question, please? There was you were next, please.
Very much, Azur, for giving me a chance to ask this question. How did this concept of the wrong concept of the finality of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of God be on him, creep into Islam, in spite of the fact that there have been mujaddis from time to time, they were imams like Imam Azam, Imam Abu Hanifa, and the other imams. How did it creep into Islam and got such a strong hold today?
As far as the imams go, were they well received by the people in their time? They were all ill-treated. They were all ill-treated. So goodness is what hurts people. Any man who is good for human beings, a true honest leader, is most undesirable, persona non grata, for a society which has gone too far away from human values. So, number one, the phenomena should be understood in the context of what the Holy Quran tells us about this attitude of human beings. The Holy Quran declares in two places that people before you had made this erroneous concept that there would be no prophet after so and so. So in Surah Jinn, for instance, Allah Ta'ala tells us that when a tribe which is called Jinn, whatever the nature of those people may be, they came and accepted Islam at the hands of Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. While they were going back to their people, they were talking between themselves and talking of their stupidities, of their stupidity and that of their elders. One of the stupid things they mentioned there was that, look here, we thought Allah would not create another prophet. And here it is. So the concept of finality of prophethood as understood by the opponents of Ahmadiyya, according to the Holy Quran, is not a new phenomenon. It is a very old phenomenon.